as promised, this is going to be part 2 of finishing the header install. Let me show you what we're doing today. All right, since I've already got the intake off, I got the new throttle body, all new sensors, had these injectors in, got them from a company. They're not the greatest, kind of a knockoff. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace those while I have this off. I'll show you that process. But if you're looking for any injectors, here's who you need to get a hold of. South Bay Fuel Injectors. Call them, told me the application, told them what I was looking to do. They've got all the specs. They partner with Titan Engines. These people are the real deal. They know what's going on. Sent me my injectors, come in a super nice case, which I'm actually gonna reuse in here. Stickers, injectors, wrapped, caps on the end. Man, super exciting. Most of the time when I get injectors, they're just thrown into a package. They're thrown into a box. Heard great reviews from these guys and was actually recommended to them by some very reputable companies. So we're gonna give them a shout, talk to them on the phone. They called me back, said this is what I need. So we're gonna roll with it and hopefully rectify any issues I've got. But I'll post their link in the description, but definitely check these guys out. All right, I'm gonna show you how to take this apart and start getting these bad boys in. All right, so mine's set up a little bit different. I do have a throttle body spacer on here. So I've got these spacers inserted for the throttle body to bring up the connectors to match. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this bracket. It's just 3 10mm bolts, and then we'll go to the fuel rail. All right, so I've got the spacer bracket off. So what I'm gonna do now is take this fuel rail off, and then we'll pull this up and the injectors will come out. You've got 4 10mm nuts, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. This one's got the stud on the end of it. This is where your crankshaft sensor is supposed to hook to, but mine's hooked somewhere else. So you'll take these off and this will slide over. Then we'll just pull the injectors right out. All right, so now that the bolts are out, you just grab this and then you just literally pull this out straight. Can't do it with one hand, so I'm gonna sit the phone down, but this will just slide straight out. All right, just like that, they come right out. So I'm gonna set this aside for a minute. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and clean all of these ports on the inside and on the outside. Make sure you have all your O-rings on your injectors, because you need to look down in these little holes, if you can see, and make sure that there's no injectors or any residue left in there. All right, so in order to take these injectors off, just put a screwdriver in back here, pop this tab off, the injectors will come out. Same thing on the fuel rail as in the intake. Make sure the rubber grommets come out. All right, as you can see, perfect example. Ends came off of these, and they are still in the fuel rail. So you need to get like a little pick, something like this, and pull all of those parts out. You don't want those left in there. All right, one thing I would suggest is this one came out as a complete set, right? But make sure you line them up and make sure you have all of the parts that went with these injectors out of your fuel rail. Trust me, take that extra few minutes to check. I'm gonna go ahead and clean these out like I did on the intake and before I put the new injectors in. All right, so now that I got these all cleaned out, I'm gonna take these South Bay fuel injectors out. Again, that's a pretty nice little case. Then what I'm gonna do is when I open these, take this end cap off, and what I would suggest doing is taking a little bit of Vaseline or something similar and putting a little very light coat around these rubber grommets. So when it slides in here, and don't push it, kind of twist it with a little bit of pressure so that you don't mess up the seal on this, because if you do, They will leak. But I'm going to get these opened and get these installed. All right, so got these all in. No issues on getting those in. Like I said, put a little bit of Vaseline on them. They're in there. Still rotate a little bit. O-ring should be good. So now we're going to insert this into the manifold. All right, make sure you put back on your retainer clips to hold the injectors in place. And then, of course, I'll take these off when I get ready to turn it over and put it into the manifold. All right, they slid right in. Make sure they're down good. You will see a little bit of a gap here. Not a big deal. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then you can tighten these down to ensure that it holds it in place. Not going to go anywhere. Come around to this side. Not sure if it'll pick it up or not. But you can look up inside of the injector ports and see that it is sitting flush. So we're going to bolt it down. We should be good to go. All right, all bolted down. Got the retainer clips in. All this is tightened. Going to put my bracket back on top here, and then we'll be good to go to throw this back in the Jeep and finish this video. All right, it's getting late, but got the injectors in, fuel rail back on, intake cleaned up, bracket back on. Should be ready to go and put it back in the Jeep. So everything goes well tomorrow. Injector or the intake manifold will go back on, and we'll get the rest of this Jeep put back together. That way you can hear it fired up. All right, so supposedly the trick is if you just start these 4 on the bottom by just a couple of threads, the intake will slide down onto the bottom because of the way it's cut out, because it hooks in between these grooves. So we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna start the bottoms in just a couple of threads and see if it actually works that way. All right, so actually that worked. Started the bottom ones by 1 or 2 threads, set it down, lined it up with the top. You do need to check underneath to make sure those little dowels are through the bottom of the intake. It's really hard for me to get a picture of that, but what I did was I just stuck my hand down there, and you can feel the metal off of the head protruding through. So we know we're good to go there. Got them all started. We're just gonna tighten them up now. All right, all of them are in and bolted down. So what I'm gonna do is just put all this back together and then hope for the best. All right, she's back safe and sound. Again, check out South Bay Fuel Injectors. Links in the comments. No issues. Didn't end up having an exhaust leak. Ended up being just some of the oil and stuff that I had spilled. It was burning off. All runs good. I did break my idler pulley, so you can hear my belt squeak, but thank God I've already got one of those. So again, check out South Bay Fuel Injectors, and thanks for watching.